show. The shirt is off the cuff. Yes, I am. Welcome back to Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. I am your host. I am Joe the Shirt. That would kind of make sense because that's the name of the show and that's who I am. Welcome back, everybody. Good God, it's already late February. What is it? Today's the 19th, the 20th, some shit like that. My God, the month is just flying by, you know. And I feel for me, it's going by even faster because it's been so long since I've talked to you guys. I haven't talked to you guys since was it last Thursday? Was it last Friday? You know, did the VD show, which I always have a fun time doing. So glad that so many of you listened in. And today, as the title says, it's called My Psychic Reading, and this is based on a psychic reading that a friend of mine and a listener. She was a listener first. We became friends later. Listener of mine in Mexico, who is a professional psychic, and she and I have enjoyed, going back and forth with our opinions on the universe, God, mysticism, religion, energy, karma, well, a whole host of things. Very fascinating stuff. And a lot of times we don't agree on these things. But the fact that she is willing to engage in a discussion is what keeps me interested. Okay? I don't mind if your opinion is different from mine, but at least, don't try to stonewall me. Don't try to stonewall me. It's okay. Have a different opinion than mine, but at least be willing to talk about the differences of our opinions. And I enjoy that. Much like I enjoy Louis P. Griffin, who we have absolutely nothing in common. But we're friends now on Facebook, and we occasionally write to each other, and it's fun stuff. Anyway, like I said, she's a professional psychic. Her name is Tinkerbell. You can go on Facebook, go onto my site, Inappropriate Conversation LA, and you will see her listed there as one of my friends. Feel free to send her a friend request and see if she'll do a psychic reading for you. She's a pro, so she does charge. So, don't expect to go around getting free psychic readings, but, it's something to look into, if you're into that sort of thing. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I am not really into the whole psychic reading thing. I'm not into psychic things, auras, God, karma, religion, any of that stuff. But I do think it's a lot of fun. Okay, that's the one thing most people find a little confusing about me. I cannot stand religion, but I love reading about it and studying it and seeing where it comes from and how it's evolved. I can't stand the concept of God, but I do find it fascinating how people incorporate God or gods into their lives and the afterlife and ghosts, angels, demons, Da Vinci Code, whatever you want to call it. But I find that kind of stuff really fascinating because, so much of who we are as a culture, as a race, is based on the mythologies that have evolved into the basic moral and ethical fiber of our world. So in any case, so Tinkerbell did a reading for me, and it's a long reading too. She went into a lot of detail here, and I'm going to go through some of it here. And I was very interested to see where she went with this. Of course, the one big issue, and she addresses this, is the fact that she knows me from listening to the show. She knows me from writing to me, and I've written to her. And she's a fan. She's got a couple of my T-shirts, which more of you should have. All right. But, feel free to order. Contact me. I'll sell you a shirt. No problem. Any size will do. Anyway, I figured we'd, actually, before we get into the reading, I want to do a couple of quick short stories because, let's start with the appetizer and then get into the meat of the meal. Okay? Okay. You guys remember about a week or two ago, I did a story about a man in California being electrocuted while he was in a tree, electrocuted by electrical wires. It happened again. A tree trimmer was apparently electrocuted on Monday in Malibu after he cut through live wires. The man was not identified, but was found unconscious 25 feet above the ground in a tree in the 24810 block of Pacific Coast Highway. He is not dead. Unlike the last gentleman, this guy is not dead. Apparently, maybe the waters just weren't as powerful as the other ones. But it's like, really, 2 electrocutions involving a tree within a couple of weeks of each other. How unusual. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. What do we have? Oh, yes. Apparently, an anti-gay mob in Nigeria, armed with wooden clubs and iron bars, were screaming that they were going to cleanse the neighborhood of gay people, dragging 14 young men from their beds and assaulting them, according to human rights activists. 4 of the men were taken to a police station where they were allegedly kicked and punched by police officers. Police told the men that they would be incarcerated for 14 years, he said, which is the maximum prison sentence in Nigeria's new law banning same-sex marriage. Dozens of people have been arrested since the bill became law in January. Wow. Yeah, Nigeria, Uganda, all these very anti-gay laws coming into place. Don't know exactly why. I mean, there are gays all over the world, and these countries have had gays in them for a long, long time. But now it's, you know what, I think in the more developed countries, like, say, the United States, England, France, Spain, because it's become such a big deal in these countries for gay rights, gay marriage, you know, it's come to the forefront. I mean, you can't go a day without seeing something somewhere about gay rights in other countries, here in the United States. And because of that, I think that other less economically developed countries are looking at these more developed countries and saying to themselves, well, hell, that's not going to happen to us. We're going to go the complete opposite way and make sure to make being gay as illegal as humanly possible. This also includes, this is the exception to the rule I found in India, which is economically a very well-developed country if you're rich. If you happen to not be rich, then you live in ass. But they also recently upheld anti-gay marriage laws there. Let's see. Thousands of Muslims have tried to flee the violence in Central Africa's Republic capital were turned back by peacekeepers as crowds of angry Christians shouted, "We're going to kill you all." Because nothing says Christian like shouting, "We're going to kill you all." I mean, it was that. Look, I don't blame all Muslims for what a handful of them do around the world in terrorist acts and in wars and fighting, you know. But, you know, it was just a matter of time, honestly, before Christians just, you know, lost their fucking mind and decided they'd go after Muslims randomly, just like, you know, militant Muslims go after, well, anybody. Including other Muslims, you know, Sunnis and Shiites, you know, more than happy to bomb each other on a pretty regular basis. Just terrible stuff there. If you've been watching the Olympics, odds are you're in the minority, because if you're watching the Olympics on Sunday, odds are you weren't watching the Olympics. You were probably watching The Walking Dead, which actually outdid the Olympics. Walking Dead premiered last week with 15.8 million viewers. After you tally up the TiVo watchers and the people that watched it in reruns, that number is expected to jump up to 20 million viewers, considerably more than anybody that's watching the Olympics here in the United States. Let's see, Chris Kattan, you may remember the funny man from Saturday Night Live, was arrested last Monday on suspicion of driving under the influence after crashing into the back of a State Department transportation vehicle in Encino. Caltrans crews were working on a guardrail on the right shoulder of the westbound 101 freeway near Balboa Boulevard and had one lane closed using the orange cones, flashing arrows, and signboards to warn motorists. Apparently, Chris Kattan didn't see any of that. And just before 2 a.m., Kattan's Mercedes crossed the cone pattern and struck the rear of the DOT vehicle. You know, I was wondering about Chris Kattan because my girlfriend watches cooking shows, and he was on like some celebrity cooking show, like Guy and Rachel, Celebrity Cook-Off, whatever, and he looked like he was off. He was like fucked up right there and then, because nothing he said made any sense whatsoever. You know, I'm used to him being goofy and funny and really quick, and he wasn't. Here he was just goofy and just kind of sad looking. It makes you wonder, maybe he was loaded. And finally, another small story here. When you hear the term marrying down, typically speaking, like my girlfriend said, marrying down, she believes, is when somebody of a higher economic stature marries somebody of a lower economic stature. You make more money, you marry somebody that makes less money, you're marrying down. And I think a lot of people would think that way. But according to this recent poll here, marrying down, it refers to somebody of a higher education marrying somebody of a lower education. Which a lot of times does translate into one of them, the higher educated person, making more money. Apparently, more women than ever are marrying down. It used to be typical, especially in this country, that men went to college. Men got their PhDs and their BAs and BSs, whatever, and thus it was men that made more money because they got more opportunities to do so. These days, roughly 21% of all married women in 2012 were better educated than their husbands. I personally never liked the term marrying down. I know how it comes, be it economical or educational. I get where it comes from, but I don't like the term. Because I'm sorry, you know what? I know lots of perfectly, very well-educated people that are among the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. All right, so I don't think that having a diploma or a degree means that you're smarter than somebody without one. It just means you have a fucking degree. So marrying down or up really, doesn't really mean that much to me, you know. Okay, well, I got one more here that I wanted to go through. Every once in a while, I'll talk a little bit about the death penalty. Well, a lot of people find weird about me is I'm a very, very liberal human being. I'm very liberal, live and let live, and I vote Democrat pretty much every time. You think I'd be some beatnik hippie of sorts, but the fact of the matter is I actually support the death penalty. I do. I've always thought there's some people that you're not going to redeem. You're not going to fix them. You're not going to rehabilitate them. They're scum, and they deserve to go. But I'm opposed to how they do the death penalty in this country, because you get convicted of a horrid crime. You may even admit to doing it. And then what happens? The court has a built-in system for you to get an appeal. Even if you don't want one, you get one. So then what do you end up with? You end up with these guys on death row for 10, 20, 25 years who are costing us money. Lots of it. It costs a lot more money to incarcerate a death row inmate than it does a regular inmate. Why? Because they have their own separate sections. And then why? Because somebody's got to pay for their court appearances and their lawyer. And for whatever amount of time the judge has to be there, the bailiff, the guards. So honestly, I've always been a big fan of, you get convicted and you get the death penalty, we're killing you tomorrow. It's like, guilty, say goodbye. You're done. Kiss your mama and then kiss your ass goodbye. Now, the reason I bring this up is because a Tulsa pharmacy in Oklahoma has agreed to not provide Missouri with a made-to-order drug for an inmate's execution that's scheduled for this month. An apothecary shop has refused to provide pentobarbital or any other drug for use in Michael Taylor's execution. Lawyers have filed against the pharmacy and seek to stop it from providing the execution drug. Taylor's attorney, Matt Hellman, said as part of the deal, the pharmacy acknowledged that it had not already provided any drug to the Missouri Department of Corrections for the execution, which is scheduled for February 26th. Now, Taylor pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty now to abducting, raping, and stabbing to death a 15-year-old girl in Kansas City, Missouri, in 1989. Okay, we got 89, 99, 09. It's 25 fucking years ago. Kill him already! Jesus! Fuck! And in another weird little story from Little Rock, Arkansas, a man shot and killed a 15-year-old girl this weekend after she and other pranksters egged a car outside his house. Willie Noble, 48, had been charged with murder in connection with the fatal shooting of Adrian Broadway, according to the Little Rock police. Noble purportedly ran out of his house and opened fire just before 1 a.m. Saturday after about a half a dozen at her and about a half a dozen other teens as they dumped a mix of eggs, mayonnaise, and leaves on a car outside his home. So this was in retaliation to an egging that Noble's teenage son Alan had done earlier in the week or the week before. He's being charged with first-degree murder, 1 count of terrorist acts, and 5 counts of aggravated assault, being held in lieu of $1 million bond, according to jail records. So basically what this is telling you is if you're a 15-year-old girl, don't go outside. Jesus Christ. Somebody's egging your car, you come out with a gun. That's sick. In any case, it's time for a break. I'm running a little late here. Today's music is brought to you by Fluid Minds. That was their first song, Complicated, you've heard on the way in. Here's their second song, Wash Away. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff.
I can't pay attention enough to make you stay. I forgot to mention again, I'm sorry, but you knock me down, pick me up, use and abuse me, please. I don't care, no, I don't care. That's part of my problem. Lately, I've been bitter, but I'm trying to find a way to better days and let these feelings wash away.
And Joe the Shirt is once again off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here, as always. All right, we're going into my psychic reading by my pal Tinkerbell, way over in Mexico. Okay, here we go. Here he goes. Okay, let's see. Born on September 10th, 1970. Numerology suggests that I was growing in a home that practically allowed me, maybe even forced me, to take care of myself for most of the time, and that I was on my own, and that might have been kind of lonely, but it made me the individual that I am today, and of my own nature, and I am prone to not taking orders from anyone else. Okay, let's see. My house. You know what? From the age of about, I'd say about 11, 12 years old. By the age of 13, I was working. I had a job by the time I was 13, and I continued to work through high school, and because of my anti-religious views and my mother's extremely religious views, I grew up without a lot of the use of her guidance. And I grew up without a father, so, there was no male role model in my life other than my stepfather, and God forbid I take any cues from him, all right? So while I won't say that I was forced to raise myself, I will say that I was forced to take on my own set of morals and ethics and worldviews rather than the ones that were given to me by my family. Let's see. According to this, I am what psychics call an ancient soul, meaning that I've been visiting this universe for many lifetimes before, and actually in this lifetime, I'm doing what is called teachings. I was gifted in order to do that and the ability to see afar. Often I know exactly what is coming my way before it arrives, and she's not only talking about NFL games. Many of the people that I meet will actually be people familiar to me from past lives. And so you often get the feeling that you've met them before, and I'm most likely not wrong about that. The problem with being an ancient soul is that your ability to find people who see eye to eye with you is very limited. This is true. It is very true because as a stand-up comedian of about 20 years, and now doing this web radio show, and as a writer, you try to write from your point of view. You try to speak from your point of view, be it on the web radio or be it on a stage in front of people. And the fact is, a lot of the times, actually most of the time, most people are not going to get what I'm doing. Okay, they're not going to feel what I'm feeling, and and that's okay. You're not supposed to appeal to everybody, but you're supposed to find your audience. And that's why I have very few friends in real life, because not everybody gets my sense of humor. It's because what you get here when you hear me talking, that's me pretty much all the time when I have friends. At work, I'm a considerably different way until I get to know people and they become friendly with me, and then they get to know the real me, and then they stop talking to me or fire me. As you find it difficult to see eye to eye, it's very limited because first because I outsmart most people most of the time, and my view on the universe is not always clinging to reality and infected with much idealism. This is true. Although you can express, guide, and teach others easily, you will have a hard time with relationships unless you find someone that is flexible enough to tolerate such behavior and that is not needy in love and affection BS expressions to feel confident with me. Okay, I find this again also to be true. My girlfriend, the Russian, is one of the most tolerant people I've ever known in my life. One of the most tolerant women, definitely. And a lot of women will find my sense of humor very, very offensive. Actually, a lot of people will find my worldview very offensive because, as a lot of you know, when it comes to really caring about most of the people on the planet, most people know, you all know that I really don't, because I don't know them. I care about the people I know, and saying that out loud makes people look at me like, I'm the devil, or I'm Hitler, or Genghis Khan, or Attila the Hun, or Caligula, or some shit. They always look at me, because when those earthquakes hit, was it Haiti? I didn't care. I don't know anybody fucking there. I don't know. When the earthquake hit, that big ass wave hit Japan, I was like, I don't care. I'm sad that human beings in general are dying, but I didn't feel bad for anybody individually. I continue. Once in a relationship with someone that really understands you, your very strange point of view, you will stick there as much as they will keep you. And I'm saying keep you because spiritually wise, you're meant to do more things, more mind work than hand work, meaning that you should do your earning by spiritual keen, be it writing, talking, teaching, or any other non-physical work. God damn it, I agree with that 100%. I'm too good for physical labor, okay? I should get paid for this. Consider that part of your karma fortune, because some of us are born to work pretty hard for their existence and cannot break this circle of slavery. You simply were not born to do that. Well, damn Skippy. There's also good advice in you hanging with very practical and grounded people, because you watch the digit 9, which rules most of your numerology chart. It has a giant head on it, and only one leg to carry it, so it's like a balloon and can anytime let go of reality easily and fly away. So it's good to have a giant rock tying you to earth, keeping you from burning your wings because of flying too close to the sun. Great, Tinkerbell. You just called my girlfriend a giant rock. Very nice. Boy, the romance is going to be flying tonight. Baby, you're a big, heavy rock that weighs me down. Ooh, yeah, give me some of that. I do agree with this. It's good to have somebody in my life that's very well grounded. My ex-wife, who is a very lovely human being, is not a well-grounded human being. She really, really isn't. She's a sweetheart, and I love her dearly. But she's a good person. She's down to earth, but she's not grounded. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody. Numerology suggests as well that being as old as your soul is, there is not much that really, not that many things that surprise you, and your bitter humor observation on the universe is not coming from hater tendencies, but more like, been there, done that, not getting too excited because nothing is really new, and it's like you sit there a bit bored by the general endless of shenanigans humans create for themselves and actually sometimes think it's pathetically funny. Wow, that one's spot on. Spot on, really is. But, of course, a lot of you are probably thinking right now, well, if Tinkerbell listens to the show, she could have made that observation just from listening to the show. Well, according to Tinkerbell, it's the numbers that tell her that, okay? It's the numbers. All right, sure, anybody could come to that just from listening to the show, but numbers don't lie, all right? Let's see. This year and starting your last birthday of 2013 and until your coming birth date of 2014, you're in what's called year number 7, a time for surprises of all sorts, good or bad. The idea of such timing is that it's a great time to start things you never did before, experience traveling, different people, but there is no safety or stability in this year. It's either climbing up or falling down, but surely not the nature of stability and boring life. Therefore, this year can be, although not the greatest, it will be the most interesting year for you as it can surprise you with God-forbidden things you actually did not learn or knew so far. So, while I'm an ancient soul, and I'm pretty knowledgeable, and have a been there, done that, nothing new kind of deal, this year I'll get some surprises. So, let's see. I like surprises. Of course, that reminds me of the old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. It says here, you will end this time with your coming birth date of 2015, where you will enter a year of balance, safety, fertility, and love. And this will be a good time for long-term contracts, official tie of knots, and more peaceful existences, but sure way less than intriguing now. So it'll be safer, nicer, but a bit more boring. All right. According to this, health-wise, you're kind of lucky, as the numerology suggests, for most of my diseases could be related to my state of mind, meaning stress and sorrow can actually make me sick, and I tend to be depressed often, a.k.a. been there, done that. When the hell is things going to be different already? Okay, I do get easily bored. I will say that much. I'm easily bored by things, especially monotonous type of things. Also, I don't like doing things twice in the same day. I don't like going to the same place twice in the same. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like if I go to the store and I come back and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, you forgot the potatoes." Well, then we're not fucking having potatoes. I'm not going back to the store. But that comes to note that since most of my diseases will be psychosomatic, my mind is so strong that it can heal most anything in my body. Well, that's nice to hear. Other medical advice the numerologists grant me is that yoga is a good practice for me. It can help me find balance and energy and keep my health very good. Not preaching any certain type of lifestyle, but simply that my health number, I have a health number, I didn't know this, is 8, meaning the balancing of all systems, which is usually what only yoga can create. The best numbers for you to be there for: 1 for powerful moves, 8 for balance, or 4 for stability. And the numbers that you can put you in trouble are 7, 5, and 3, bringing each one of them by that order: chaos, madness, and anger. There you go. Okay, all right. Interesting so far. Now, when she says good numbers, I mean mostly days of the month or house numbers. For example, like 14 VD is a day, Valentine's Day, is a day prone to troubles. Day 25 to madness, and day 12 for getting angry. In numerology, you subsidize the number to one digit, meaning 14 is 1 plus 4, which is 5. Okay, and of course 5 means madness. Okay, I get it. I get you. Okay. This, as far as numerology suggests, as basic info into my life, but since she was there already, she could not help but peek into my privacy and give me a little overview, generally speaking, about my life. Apparently this will be based on tarot, and we're going to get into that once we get back. Here's more music by Fluid Minds, Love in Analog. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff with my psychic reading.
As I sing this lonely tune,
Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Fluid Minds, Love and Analog. Welcome back. Joe the Shirt's off the cuff. Welcome back. You know what? We're going to do the second half of my psychic reading tomorrow. We just did the numerology portion. I'm going to, actually, maybe, if not tomorrow, Friday. Not tomorrow, probably Friday. Okay, we're going to do the other half on Friday. That'll be the tarot card portion of the psychic reading. I don't want to blow your minds too much out there, okay? I mean, I'm enjoying it a great deal, but you know what? I need to get a little more variety. It can't be all about me, you know what I mean? I mean, it can, you know, but but we're gonna save that one for Friday, so not to overload you on all the psychic powers there. All right. Okay. Let's. One of the things that I thought was very interesting recently. I don't know if you've ever been to Utah, but Utah's got some of the most stringent drinking policies in all the 50 states. Now, mind you, there are plenty, just about every state I know of has what they call dry counties. You know, basically it's like there's no alcohol being sold or purchased in these counties. If you want to drink, even in your own house, you gotta like get in your car, drive over to the next county or whatever many counties over actually sells booze, and then bring it back with you. All right, plenty of counties like that. But generally speaking, entire states are not dry. All right. You know, just about every state allows you to drink liquor in some form or another. But very few states have all-encompassing rules that cover the entire state. And one of them happens to be Utah. Why? Because Utah is the capital of Mormonism. You know, and Mormons do not drink alcohol. It's against their religion and grounds for being kicked out of the religion. Now, let's see. Apparently, there's a story here about a bartender who mixes drinks outside of the view of the public and does it in the kitchen. It's one result of the strict regulations governing alcohol and backed by a politically powerful Mormon church. Throughout the state, home to some of the nation's most restrictive drinking laws, restaurants that opened after 2009 cannot legally mix cocktails or snap open bottles of beer in front of diners. Such adult fare, the strategy goes, should be kept from the view of impressionable children who might be eating with their parents. Okay, so what they're saying is, I read this article, you have the bartender, right? And he maybe he's at the bar, you know, or maybe more than likely he'll be at the bar and somebody will go, hey, I like a mojito, I like a margarita, I like an old fashioned, and he'll go, right up, sir, and then walk away from the bar, go into the back, into the kitchen, where he has all the actual booze there, mix the drinks, and then bring them out to you. Somebody walks up and goes, hey, I'd like a beer. Right away, sir. I'll be right back. And he goes back into the kitchen, opens a bottle of beer, brings it out, and hands it to the guy. And this is all to protect impressionable children. I'm like, why are your kids hanging out at the bar, is my question. I think this is only for bars that have opened since 2009. Bars that were already open and operating, you know, restaurants especially, have been grandfathered in. So they can, you know, they're still allowed to make drinks in front of the patrons. But here, I got a picture here of the bartender in the kitchen. He's got a little cubby hole, basically part of the kitchen where he has all his liquors and his equipment. And there he is. He's back there. He's making drinks, and then he's going to bring them out. And I'm like, wow. Now, this is not the most uncommon thing in the world, because if you work as a service bartender like I did for quite a while, you're out of sight of people. But you know what? Then it's the servers are taking the orders, giving me, and then they bring the orders to me, or they send them to me through the little printer, and then I see the drinks, and I make them. Boom! Then they come pick them up. They're ready to go. Now, what bothers a lot of people about this particular law is, if you're at a restaurant that has a bar section, not just a service bar, but if they have a bar, actual bar, where the bartender is at and he's got his stuff there, and you order, say, a Grey Goose martini, and he goes into the back and he brings you out a drink, you don't know that he used Grey Goose vodka, do you? You didn't see him take it back there with him. It's already back there. So he could have been putting Stoli, he could have been putting Smirnoff, he could have been putting anything in there. He could have been putting Popov in there, Popov, which is basically, lighter fluid, and you don't know. I mean, unlike true connoisseurs of alcohol, like the average bartender or mixologist or somebody that really knows their stuff, most people are not going to know the difference in flavor. A lot of people like to think they do, but the reality is they don't. I remember one time, I got an order for a Grey Goose vodka martini, and I made it perfectly. And I gave it to my waitress, and she brought it back. She says, Joe, he says this isn't Grey Goose. I'm like, yeah, it is. Well, he says it doesn't taste right. I'm like, okay, so I made him another one. It got sent back again. And she's like, he says this is not Grey Goose. I'm like, okay, Amber, do you see this bottle right here? And she's like, yeah, stay right there. And I made a third fucking drink and gave it to her. And I'm like, you saw me use Grey Goose. You saw me make it the way it's supposed to be made, right? And she's like, yeah. And she took it out. And she didn't come back with the drink, but she came back by herself. And she says, he still says it's not Grey Goose, but he's going to drink it anyway. And I'm like, fuck him. So it's it's disturbing. I mean, and even for something as simple as a beer. So basically, I mean, think about what you're saying here. You can't grab a bottle of beer and open it, but you can have an open bottle of beer and give it to your customer, and he can drink it in front of children. But actually opening the bottle in front of him, that's wrong. That's fucking stupid. Oh my God. We have gays in the news again. Love the gays. You know I do. The very first gay Eagle Scout, openly gay Eagle Scout, was just made an Eagle Scout, actually. Let's see, where's that? Here we go. Okay. A Maryland teenager this week became the first openly gay Boy Scout to become an Eagle Scout, which is the highest honor in the Boy Scouts. Okay. Let me put it this way. This is, you might think to yourself, oh, what's the big deal? You're an Eagle Scout. Big deal. Okay, well, out of everybody that's ever been a Boy Scout, only 2% of all Boy Scouts ever become an Eagle Scout. Okay? It takes a lot. All right? We're talking about years of dedication, of service, of being known as a leader within the Scouts, of getting every fucking badge imaginable. This guy's probably has a badge for jerking off with his feet. Okay, that's how many badges you need. That's how much experience you need. Okay, so it's a big deal. But then on August 5th, he turns 18. Now, this is important because as of last year, the Boy Scouts of America decided that it would not keep openly gay Boy Scouts out of Boy Scouts. Openly gay kids, could be Boy Scouts, but they have a strict rule still being enforced against openly gay Scoutmasters. So anybody that's an adult cannot be gay and a Boy Scout, and so. Now, this kid here, high school senior Pascal Tessier, turns 18 on August 5th, and he will apply to be an adult leader for the Boy Scouts. Okay, on August 4th, he's an Eagle Scout and has the highest honors, says Pascal's mother. And then that's Tracy Felker. And then on August 5th, all of a sudden, he's no longer good enough to be a Boy Scout according to the Scout policy. According to this quote, there are no plans for further review on the membership policy regarding adult leaders, according to the Boy Scouts Public Relations Director, Deron Smith, which was said in a statement. But the fact of the matter is, he's out. That's what's going to happen. Come August 5th, he will be asked to leave, to not attend scout meetings, to not be a scout master, to not go on camping trips, to not help mold young impressionable minds, and honestly, I think this is what you call a real bait and switch that the Boy Scouts are pulling here, because basically what it is they're doing is they laid a trap for you. They say, hey, Billy, it's okay if you're gay. You can still be a Boy Scout. Yay! And what that does is, I think what they're trying to do is encourage boys to come out as gays. Like, yay, I'm gay, and I'm a Boy Scout. Great. And that way, you know what they're doing? They're identifying themselves. So that as soon as they turn 18, the Boy Scouts have every reason to just kick them the fuck out. Hey, thanks for making it easy on us, letting us know you're gay. Get the fuck out now. That's what they're doing. And, here, Pascal here is, I think he's making it a point to continue to be a Boy Scout, and he's going to try to continue to be a member of it. But as far as he knows, he's going to be kicked out. And he's not planning on taking it to the courts. He's not planning on suing them, because he also believes that a private entity such as the Boy Scouts has the right to make up rules for their organization. And I agree with that. I really do. If I decide to make up a club of only web radio hosts that happen to be Puerto Rican, and you happen to be Chinese, well, no, fuck no, you can't be in the group. That's just it. That's all there is to it. I put this together for Puerto Rican web show hosts, not Chinese web show host. I know there's a world of difference between some shitty web show host and being a Boy Scout, an Eagle Scout, no less. But it's the same basic premise. I mean, as a private entity, I think they're entitled to say who can and cannot be in their group. I just think it's shitty, that they have this policy in place where, you can be there, your entire childhood, basically, Cub Scout, Wolf Scout, all the way to Eagle Scout, and then you gotta tip the fuck out, homo. That's basically what they're telling you. Thank you for identifying yourself, making this so much easier for us. Instead, Pascal is planning on going to the social media, going to the newspapers, going to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that, and going on maybe the talk show host circuit, and just putting social pressure on the Boy Scouts to get them to change how they do things. I don't know whether that's going to work, but good for him. I think, honestly, I think it's terrible. I think that if you have a policy of no gays, then fine, no gays. Don't give me that bullshit about, you can be a kid and be gay, but you can't be an adult and be gay. Because, it's like, okay, before when you're a kid, oh, you're a sweet, innocent child, you're a Boy Scout, you're an all-American kind of guy. You turn 18, you're a dirty fucking homo. That's what you fucking are, you dirty queerbait bitch. I doubt they say it like that. But that's basically what they're telling them. And I think that's wrong. Any case, that's pretty much it for today. Oh, God, the time flies by so quickly. Thank you for listening in. I had a good time with it. And in closing, we have some more music here by Fluid Minds. Here's their song, Wash Away. Also, much thanks to my pal Tinkerbell for giving me this psychic reading. I did the numerology part today. Next time, we're going to do the tarot reading. And I love tarot. I always have. And once again, here's Wash Away, the song Wash Away by Fluid Minds. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I've been off the cuff.